What's up, everybody? That took a lot longer to get started because that was my first ever time having to get this shit together to get an online, I guess, an online event. So it took me a while to go ahead and learn everything on the spot, and typical streaming problems that happen all the time. But we got format. We're gonna have stream 4 matches for Granblue, and that's what's Samurai Showdown. We have our own commentators here. You guys can already talk. You can introduce yourself if you want.
What if I don't want to? Since you gave me the choice.
Well, I guess
now see,
I remain anonymous.
Cool. Now here's the question I had. You did all this. Didn't you just set everything up to where the stream couldn't hear you? Do you have that in check?
I fixed that.
Okay. Just making sure.
That was arduous. They won't be hearing me in a little bit anyway. But, I had to at least talk to them for a second.
Did you?
Yeah, gotta let them know who's running the show. But we're gonna have EdGoneBad and Ultimate Leo up first. And I've never seen either of them play, so we're gonna see what that's all about. But I'm gonna leave it to y'all now, since I get them to do what they're supposed to do.
Are you ever gonna rename your stream from test?
Oh no, that's permanent.
Oh my god! So this is Casa the test.
Yep. This is a test. This is the first test.
This shouldn't have been the first test, man. We ain't ever gonna make it. But EdGoneBad, Georgia player, pretty known for playing Dragon Ball, most specifically, like number 3 man, if I understand correctly, is the one that you always put in contention with Scrot and Jazz Rap. Don't know a whole lot about him playing Granblue. Actually, I don't know anything about him playing Granblue. But like Painbot said, he's going to be going against Ultimate Leo. Lately, we've known him as one of the pack runners for Sam's show. He has been playing a good bit of Granblue as well. He's been streaming a lot of Granblue as well. He's a Zeta player. So, going to see who Ed is going to throw against what a lot of people say is one of the lacking characters in the game so far.
Yeah, that's generally what I hear about Zeta, is that she's definitely what people would put at the bottom end for the most part. Like they'll say she has her options, but they don't really shine. That's just the popular sentiment in it, at the least.
Right. That's like some really scary looking Oki if you haven't sat there and looked at it, sat there and like assessed it, labbed it, if you will. Seems to have a bit of command in neutral, more specifically since she has air specials. She has effectively a dive kick, a lunge, if you will. So she can change her trajectory. She can attack from a lot of angles that just most of the cast can't deal with. But if you're very versed against it, she doesn't have like the monstrous output as some of the better characters in the game has. And then a lot of Zeta players themselves complain that she doesn't have an amazing anti-air. I won't go as far as to say she doesn't have one, because she does have her 2H. I was trying to think of the terminology for it. 2H, 2C, the crouch heavy. Mm-hmm. But she does have the problem where she actually stands up before her hitbox comes out. So she has to be a lot more accurate than most characters in the game when she's looking for that.
I guess it'll throw us in here in a moment.
I hope so. Just sitting here chilling. Says I'm spectating. I don't believe it anymore.
I don't know if they started or not. Well, I guess they haven't started Betasaurus Clash. There we go. All right, they readied up, and then we go. Let's see what we got.
First match, Casa the test. And again, this is a Matcherino tournament. So if you haven't donated to the Matcherino yet, you can use the Matcherino command. I forgot to ask Painbot what it is. Don't come back with that. You can check below the stream. There are some links down there where you can go to the Granblue Matcherino, use the coupon code PBGB in all caps, and you can at the least donate your 50 cents. But here we go.
Yeah, so Ed's gonna come in there with Matera, the character that was highly touted at the beginning and kind of fell off to most people. But yeah, she has a good amount of control from pretty much every space on the screen, and she's able to use her mobility to kind of to be a little tricky.
Mobility and the zoning as well, being able to hit some angles, really take the airspace that Zeta wants to operate in. But we'll see how that pans out as we go on throughout this matches. Ultimate Leo took a good bit of damage in the beginning, but worked himself out of the corner. Can't really do anything from mid-screen as he gets flagged down, tagged with the Skybound, and that's going to be the first round going to Ed.
Yeah, he hadn't shown much patience as far as dealing with the projectiles, and then like when he finally calmed down, Ed just came in with a unique skill and just overheaded him.
I mean, let's be real. We've been locked up for... Some people have been in quarantine for like 14, 20 days, something like that, and you want me to sit down and deal with a zoning game? You wild, man.
Hey, man, he should be used to it by now. But anyways, using that excellent far light from Matera that has pretty good range, hits low.
Yeah, but the other thing that was really good is using the unique, getting over Leo, getting out of the corner, getting space again, finds the assault B, if you will.
Oh, you're in the wrong game, man.
It don't feel like it.
I was just kind of showering him with pressure and using the butterflies. Yeah, Leo doesn't look like he has a game plan to, like, I guess, hunker down or to get through a lot of this. So we'll see if he has an adjustment coming up in the second game.
I mean, to be fair, he was actually blocking the last string right there. He clearly got hit with the overhead, but yeah, it's just trying to keep himself from getting there in the first place and surviving the storm, because like both times he's been locked down in the corner, he's taking heavy damage, like you said.
And in a neutral situation, he's starting to be more aggressive with the jumps, the dodges, and the lunges there.
Ooh, yo, that 2A though.
All right,
nice.
Oh, got the nice anti-air.
And he caught him pressing a button on the way up. Doesn't get the confirm from it, but still has the corner, and that's where it's signed to it.
Decided to just go ahead and just hop on in there.
And he got the pogo into the overhead, but he didn't have the confirm from it, which is really sad. Again, like every time that Ed's been able to put Leo into the corner, he's been able to confirm. Leo, not so much. Gets a cross up though.
He got that confirmed this time. Yeah, I like that Leo's mixing in more movement options just to keep Ed from like getting comfortable with any particular pattern. So neutral has played out better for him, but yeah.
It's just one of the unfortunate scenarios where, you know, it is going better. Like you said, you have a zoner where you want her to be, and then she comes out with a raw UO, and that takes the round. Couldn't get away from the butterfly. Yeah, just took a straight shot. Jeez.
Yeah. And he kind of teased it a little bit. He didn't go for it right away. And then once Leo's like, I guess I'm going to move now. And there it was.
And he tried to fidget his way out of the corner again. Got tagged. We got the Skybound on deck. So we're going to be sending Ed to the next round of this round robin. The bag of a perfect. Or is it, what is it, first to 5?
Yeah, it's first to 5. So it's 2-0 right now for Ed. Luckily, we got the windscreen up there giving us the information we need for us forgetful folks.
I'm just keeping everybody on their toes, man.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about forgetting things? Double overhead from Matera. It's a really unfortunate thing to forget, but no real harm done just yet.
Yeah, Leo finally has Ed where he wants him. Got him in poke range, bullying him.
And he did good to get past like the first defense, but he couldn't get through the EX knockdown, still staying on top of him, gets the counter hit with the universal overhead, faking again, and that time Ed bit, but he's alive. Just barely.
He reached in there and got a standing light for his trouble.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Super Sabah on deck, and he's been pretty good on the confirm, so it could have been around, but now any solid hit is going to take it.
That should be it if he converts it.
Don't even need it? What?
So, he forgoes the super conversion and pays for it with a lost round.
The greed will get you every time.
And it's not like you can take it in the next round, so, you know. But in any case, we back into the next round. He's off to another strong start, but Leo's pretty determined.
Ed playing from the range. And like Ed's been pretty good controlling the space in neutral. Like we've been talking about it bit by bit, but it was really nice that he had the 2C in the beginning to get a really big lead. Finds the 2A to thread the needle. Like that's so huge. He's been able to weasel his way out of so many strings. This was looking so good because again, he didn't get the confirm from it right there, but he got the space he needed. Like again, Ed's just been so good of keeping Leo in check in the corner, just not getting overwhelmed by anything. So like he's been able to find more opportunities than he probably deserves with the way things have been going.
I can agree with that. And yeah, he got another strong start at the beginning. Got a corner push. And so now we got the butterflies waiting for the pressure. It's like, it's Eddie's game to lose at this point.
Well, I mean, he rolls out of the corner, right? But he doesn't roll out for free. So the problem is, like, he has all the space, but like he finally gets to press buttons. But where is Leo at this point? He's at like less than a third of his health. Doesn't even have a super yet. So it doesn't really mean too much just yet.
Yeah, so like Leo gets what he wants at certain opportunities, but he hasn't really had much follow through, like his pressure, his confirms, and so like even when he's right, he doesn't get much from it, and I think that's the ultimate thing that Ed is taking advantage of.
Well, with the 1C, he finds himself up 3 games to none.
All right, got a little buffer poke, got the corner press, shoved Ed into the corner.
Yeah, but seeing as he didn't get a counter hit on the overhead, he couldn't really. Had to give up the space and switching sides. See what Ed does with it. Got clipped out of a backdash. He got it though. And he still has the awareness. That's the first time he's seen the command jump out of Zeta, and he up backed it. Like I couldn't tell if he tried to throw like an air throw or something behind it, but the fact that he reacted to it specifically and was holding on to his spacing, like he's well aware of everything that's being presented to him in a quick manner. Taking the space again, met him in the air, good looks. Overhead again, any hit will do it at this point. In a 2C.
Yeah, it just feels like Ed is I guess I should say not filling out his impatience, because Leo has a lot of impatience. But right. He's been capitalizing out on it consistently.
Taking some air shots this time.
Now, I want to say Leo's been kind of sparse on the fireball himself. Like you see it out of him sometimes, but for the most part, he's trying to trudge forward.
Right.
And you see it a little more now.
Well, the question is it too late?
Well, he got at least 2 more games to get it down.
All right. And got a big block on it. He got a big block on a double overhead as well. So like he's holding his footing this time. And the thing that's been so good about it is since he's been able to hold on for so long, he has a super to work with. So if he gets a good hit, he could just take the round right here. Gets the block. That means so much.
Yep, this is a big opportunity. We'll see where Leo takes it.
Surprised he actually found his way in behind the empty jump low, because every time he's gotten the knockdown from the EX thrust, he's been really favoring taking the fake JU into the low, and like Ed hasn't really bitten on it lately. So I'm kind of surprised that Leo didn't give him another look there, because he didn't. Like Ed was able to hold on, finds another 1C, and finds himself on match point.
All right, Leo got the corner pretty early, but lost it just immediately. So like I can see a lot of the ideas churning in his mind. Just needs to put some consistency behind him.
And I have to imagine he got hit moving there, because there's no counter hit or anything, no exclamation point. So just got tagged, and it's a bad time for it, because he's getting gunned down in the sides again. Gets out to mid screen, but it's a lot of mileage to make up at this point, man. And he just can't do it.
Yeah, Ed is he's just pretty on point with his movement in general. Like if he sees Zeta move a certain way, he's willing to run under. He's willing to meet her in the air. He has a lot of varied movements. He's not, he doesn't have a one-track mind. He's clearly, like you mentioned earlier, he's seeing what Leo is presenting and clearly playing around it.
And I think at this point, Ed's just feeling all the confidence, because he started off with a run to A He's been like really foregoing in this round, really aggressive, taking assaults in, taking 2 U's in. I had that button wrong earlier. But now he finds himself under house arrest. Ooh, yo, that was a big miss right there. Like, if there was ever a time for Leo to hit an anti-air, that's when he needed it. And he's paying dividends for it now. Super coming out of Ed. Not enough to take the round just yet. But, bro, it ain't looking good over there.
Yeah. He got, like, if you were, like, to put it together, like, stats, you'd see that Leo probably got hit by this a lot of straight stuff in neutral, even when he wasn't in any necessary... I guess there wasn't any necessary reason to for a lot of those times. So that's a pretty convincing 5-0. It's pretty straight up.
That was our first match of Casa to test. It was a clean sweep. Get the brooms out for that, man.
Yeah, we're looking pretty clean here in the ship. Not a speck of dust to be found. All right, so for our next stream match, we'll have Arsenal versus Granblue. And Arsenal, known as our resident Street Fighter grinder, he has a lot of characters, but he mainly settled on Sakura for the most part, from what I've seen lately. Granblue, he goes to the VS Realm, the FGC Fight Club events.
Right.
And I know I've seen him play some Sam Show. I'm not sure who he plays in this game, so I guess we will see. And even Arsenal, I'm not sure who he plays in this game, actually.
I feel like I've talked to him about it at some point, but he hasn't really made a big, like, clamor about it or anything, if you will. He was one of the people that had to be drummed up at the last second for this, kind of forgot about it and everything, so... I think I can correctly say that Granblue isn't on the forefront of his mind, even while he's sitting in his house. Still trying to keep up the stuff with it. So when we get released into the wild, he has a pretty good footing, but I don't want to think that it's the main thing he's been grinding. But we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen him talk about Granblue quite a bit. He's flat out told me that BB Tag's not really what he wants right now. So
I don't think anybody's talking about BB Tag right now, honestly.
Yeah, because even when the game first came out, he was still like playing a lot of BB Tag with the Atlanta guys. But like he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of done now. He doesn't care for the direction it went. So I imagine, and I've seen him talk about this game quite a bit, like I mentioned. So it's either this or Street Fighter he's been putting his time into.
But I've seen him. I'm trying to think about it. Like, I've seen him streaming lately, and I feel like every time has been Street Fighter. I want to say there was one Granblue, but I don't remember it. This is totally my fault, because I bet I can go look at his past broadcasts, and that's like all he's been doing lately. But needless to say, we can pretty much cement them in as 1 and 2.
All right, let's see what our matchup's gonna be. Okay, so Charlotta and Catalina. All right, I can see Arsenal rocking that Charlotta. So this is gonna be an interesting match. Yeah, you got Catalina, who's just kind of there, the wall of normals. And you got Charlotta, who's able to just move around a lot of things with her special moves. And you have to worry about like her having like bursts of movements, like with her headbutt, as they call it.
Yeah, but on the other end of the spectrum, like, even though she can move around a lot, like, she still has to deal with this neutral of Catalina, like you were talking about earlier. And Catalina just has so much range. There's a lot of times where she can leave herself in really good situations. Has a lot of good carry as well. I can't imagine this being the kind of character that a Charlotta wants to look at any point in time. But
most likely not. But it's pretty even so far. But Arsenal's finally gotten the corner push. It's pushing it in his favor.
Walled off by Big 2B. The U. Oh, I don't think he expected the hit to actually connect from the U, but still, it's okay. Getting a pickup, getting the reset neutral again. And I have to imagine Arsenal was looking for a cross up and forgot that he had a block button because he took that one to the face, lost a good bit of life, lost the lead as well, so he has to walk back into Catalina. And he's trying to run in and get the 2U, trying to see if he can sneak in a knockdown real quick. No good so far. But I see him creeping out there.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the button out so he can do some pressure with the specials, but it's not quite working. It's not really working out for him. Criminal's staying calm under pressure, so to speak.
And the big 5B to the throat, taking the first round for Criminal. Some good looks. And I really think the only thing he has to worry about as of right now is the big JA that Arsenal had to get in. Like, that was the only momentum that Arsenal really had going for him. The rest of it was like nickel and diming here and there. Trying to look for the noble strategies out of the corner. No good. Caught the roll.
Yeah, Criminal's pretty aware in general of where Charlotta's allowed to do. But neither of them have really been doing any anti-airs.
To be fair, I imagine that's kind of hard for Criminal. Like, taking the online aspect out of it, just the fact that Charlotta has a really fast jump and Criminal typically wants to press some like really lengthy buttons. It's not the easiest thing for him to do, but he was able to weather the storm. Blocked a good amount of jumps, took one, but the one wasn't enough to keep him away from his first game.
Believe in victory. Battle 1. Engage.
Nice setting the pace with the fireballs there. Arsenal showing a little more pace at this time. Oh.
Yeah, hit a counter hit 5C, but no, that's one of those things you can't really plan for. You could have possibly missed the confirm from it as well, but either way, picked up a second one, gets in the corner, and yo, the first DP.
We got one that followed right after. UDP, IDP. Oh, okay, I like the side switch. And gets to confirm.
Yeah, the big thing about that was they traded DPs, but Criminal used his, I think he used his skill button if I remember correctly. He did something to put it on cooldown, so even though he picked up the punish on Arsenal, he didn't burn enough time to keep control. And then when Arsenal was on top of him again, Criminal still didn't have his DP up, so he had to take the last one. That's where he lost like his chance to defend himself, really. But new round, new life. Seeing how everything is panning out now, still has the rolls in check.
Using that jump U to get the cross up. Yeah, so it's like no one's really got the advantage. Arsenal's trying to push his way in. And Criminal's trying to push him right back out.
And I like that Criminal was walking away as well. It would have been nice if he was looking for the 5C and caught the whiff on it, but again, like, he might have been able to react to it if we're playing offline. But even then, it still has to be one of those things where, do you think Charlotta's actually pressing it, or is he like looking to roll in or something? It's part of the dice he gets to roll, if you will.
Yeah, that explosive nature of Charlotta, where she can be in your face at any time. But Arsenal managed to put one on the board this time, so we're 1 up.
Oh, yo, even games? We take these. No washes here? Dirty matches? And see, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, Arsenal looks like he's going to run in, possibly roll in, because he's been doing a lot of that. So Gremlin throws the 2B out there looking for him. Arsenal takes to the skies and he got it. Didn't do anything the first time, but he's able to scrape together a couple of hits. Keep was pretty even. Yo, the lunge, though.
That nice little counter hit knocks Arsenal right back. And Criminal, a big fan of that jump U.
Oh, yeah, man. It's bigger than the entire existence of Charlotte. It's kind of good.
Impressive. Yeah, that's positive.
I'm more amazed that Arsenal had to let it go with a flip, but still able to make it work. And he's walking away. Yeah, he's trying to see if he can snipe something out to close it out, because he still can't get hit at this point.
Yeah, just trying to grind away on him. I think he finally lost his patience and tried to move.
Battle 2. Engage.
Sad to see it happen, but here we go in round 2.
We're going back to the back and forth we saw before, but
Oh no, this ain't no back and forth. This is a walk to the wall.
yeah, Arsenal had put a little meter behind his.
We were stuck over here on the right side. Tried to throw the counter out there, but a little too early. Right idea, but you know, just jumped the gun too much. It happened.
He's looking for a buffered poke in the super, and it didn't work out. But very light punish, and then
Yeah, we take those. And Griminal, the one having to see if he can push forth through the Charlotta. Not looking too good so far. Yo, please don't get chipped down again. Kyle with the counter hit, taken to the skies, no good. Just a little too antsy. Trying to poke, there was a second button there. Just like there was a second game for Arsenal, 2-1.
yeah. So like, now that I think Arsenal's kind of keyed on to the fact that Grimble doesn't have any answers for some of his special moves, and he's gotten a lot more bolder.
Yeah, like there's been so many times that Arsenal's gone for the roll, and you see Gremlin trying to like, I guess, punish it. More specifically, looking for a check to make sure there's no button behind it. But either way, it's no immediate harm to Arsenal. So, like you're saying, just getting the information and getting to adjust his plan behind what's happening. Ooh, he didn't know that was a counter hit.
I wonder if that was just kind of like a snafu, like he wanted to go for his button and then just hesitated for like a slight moment and lost it.
It's possible.
But yeah, Grimble taking the DP anti-air, but the point I was kind of trying to make there is like Grimble had the life lead and he's trying to jump on Charlotta, so he must be pretty antsy at this point.
He's scared. He doesn't want to get put in his corner again. Here he is. Just lost the lead, steals it back with a B, but it's a lead that doesn't matter too much because we're in crunch time at this point. Couple of fireballs takes it for him. 2 shots.
Battle 2. Engage.
He's still not looking for the 5Cs. And that was a 5C from downtown, but again, hindsight is 2020 for me. It's really easy for me to say. It's the kind of thing where I don't think that's on his mind to look for that specifically, because it's been shown a couple times, like Soul. So could be something to put in his fishing pond, if you will.
It's one other thing I will notice after the Demon Flip Slash there, where Charlotta is plus, I think Grimble has pressed into it every single time on block. Like, I don't think there's a single point where he's like blocked that out. I think he's gotten counter hit from the frame trap every time.
Doesn't help that he only sees it in flashes. It's not like a really consistent thing in Arsenal's game plan. I want to say, but he wants to prove me wrong. But it's not like ever prevalent, so it could be the thing where it slips Criminal's mind until he sees it, panics, and presses a button, but at that point it's far too late. Ooh, yo!
Arsenal's showing some of those anti-airs.
Yeah, I was talking about Criminal, but that was an Arsenal round right there.
Yep. Going up another game.
Walked him over to the corner, threw a big 5C on him, had the ladder as well. It's a pretty solid display.
It's kind of funny how you can kind of see this, like the swing of confidence between the two players, because it felt like Criminal just felt like he was just so in charge at the beginning, and you can see the confidence in his actions. But now it just, like, even without like being there in person, you kind of feel like you see him second guess himself, hesitate here and there. And Arsenal's confidence, on the contrary, seems to be building up. He doesn't seem to be worried about anything.
Yeah, Arsenal stopped running into so many buttons and just slowly marching forward. Gets the super through this. You want to talk about confidence? Just seeing all of your plans come to fruition. That's very good for somebody.
Ooh, using that backdash out of the unique shield to bait and punish, whip punish. But it didn't really matter much.
Nah. Ran over again by another ball. And Arsenal looking well on his way to take another point. Getting a whiff punish there.
Ooh, punish on the roll.
And the thing that was crossing my mind is since he's throwing like the 5-season rolls out there and he's seeing such delayed reactions from Gremlin, that's where he gets to start looking for punishes on his own. Because even though Catalina has the longer range normals, it's not like there aren't hurt boxes out there. Like, she's pretty susceptible to counter pokes.
All right, well, Gremlins managed to get the momentum back in the corner.
Make sure to go all the way down the auto combo, gets the and that's the thing that's really unfortunate. So he puts him down in the corner, and he has the assumption that Arsenal wants to try to fight his way out. So Criminal starts backing up. Arsenal, on the other hand, thinks he's going to get thrown, so he just techs the throw. Defensive tech. And that's the break that Arsenal needed to put himself on game point. 4-1. Arsenal trying to see if he can make it out of this.
Yeah, you just kind of notice like so what's really setting the tone for this whole match is the fact that at the very beginning, Arsenal ran into his face and just could literally wait a moment before Gremlin really did anything.
Oh, so he was being a Charlotta player, like a lot of people would say.
Basically, but the fact that he didn't have any preemptive pokes, just to kind of show where he looks at this, or what he thinks about Arsenal at the moment.
All right, but the tide has really turned for all of this because. Hold on, wait a second. Let me say what's happening here, because Criminal still has a little bit of life left in him.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that'll make it, but again, light punish. And I'm not sure what Catalina gets right there, but I imagine it could be definitely more than that.
I'd assume she. Whoa, wait a second.
What? Really? No super conversion. Once again, and that messed him up in game 2, actually.
Oh no. Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know if he just does not have resource awareness, or if he's just like, I gotta get something. You know, it could be a number of things, but it does cost him the round.
The thing that really gets me about this game, though, is like, even if you don't have like great awareness, just by the game flow itself, you kind of have to realize that it's near the end of the round. I could just do the super, you know?
Yeah,
I can do the motion if it comes out cool. If not, whatever. But it's a mistake that might come back to haunt Criminal, because now he finds himself one round away from being out of this match right here, and he finds his hit through the clash though.
Arsenal's also got a lot of miles that like jumping light, like a lot of counter hits, a lot of crouching. And I think it's in general, Criminal, when he doesn't want to do anything, his next default action is crouch.
Yeah, he didn't have like I feel like his Arsenal punch slightly intended to look for DPs, more specifically one button DPs, just to keep it in check. So he just gets harassed by Charlotta jump A so many times. Yo, that sweep trade? But we broke out. We good. And he walks in, gets a counter hit, and he gets the round. He's still alive.
He got that off an empty roll too, so I guess Arsenal was a little asleep there.
5C and a sweep a little bit later. Nice start for Arsenal here in round 3. Trying to see if he can catch bad spacing on the lunge, which he can't do. Gets the pick up on the spare. Ooh!
First time he hit that counter?
I believe so, yes. And he's looked for it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Got the same side jump in.
Yeah, finishes out with an anti-air, and that is it.
Bruh! Told him to put that cross up back in his pocket. Doesn't want any of that.
So a 5-1, a dominating performance from Arsenal after a rough start.
Do we really want to say it was rough? I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but you know, you had to get the adjustments in there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Had to see how much ground he was allowed to take, how much he was allowed to lie and cheat, and he saw it wasn't a whole lot, so he had to pump the brakes, take it a little slow, and work his way through Gremlin's defenses. That's the best way to put it. Work his way through the 5Bs and the 2Bs, all the long range pokes. There wasn't really a lot of anti-airs. Again, we've said that a couple of times, so the skies were pretty good, but just knowing that he couldn't steamroll Gremlin at will is what really gave Arsenal the path that he needed through that game.
Yeah.
But with that, it's not the end of Arsenal just yet. Because in our next match, we're going to have to see how he can fare against a Big Bates. Now, last I talked to Bates, or last I saw of Bates, rather, he was playing Percival. I can't remember if he was interested in Beelzebub at all.
He messed with them a bit from what I know. So, but yeah, Percival's where he mainly been messing with.
So, yeah, I imagine this just playing Theory Fighter. This has to be kind of obnoxious for Charlotta to some degree. Another really strong mid-range character, but one that can take a lot of control with the really slow fireball as well. One that also poses a decent threat, a different kind of threat, if you will, up close with his unique skill of command throw.
Mm-hmm.
So just, it's a different kind of the same mess is what I'm seeing. A different kind of the same problem for Charlotta. But we'll have to see how well versed Arsenal is in the matchup. See him chilling on the setup again, waiting for Bates, wherever Bates is.
So I went in Bates to go see what he was doing, and apparently this is he's going very slowly because the matchup.
Oh my god.
So I may need to put Terrence versus
Criminal.
but I don't know where Terrence is right now or if he's even available.
Terrence is playing right now. Yeah.
Damn. Well,
how you feel?
match.
How you feeling about Casa the test?
Everything's going pretty good. I just need so far everything's been done correctly. This is the only thing I feared, that since it's a round robin, that if there may be a problem with one of the matchups may just go much slower than the rest, and then if we don't put them aside for X amount of time, then it cuts into the time, and then we just say, here we have to kill time.
Oh no, heaven forbid if we actually have to pull out knives and murder some time. Whatever will we do?
I guess we'll have to do an ad, so I'm just gonna
Wait, what ad?
Yeah, you see,
I actually don't.
I see it. Why don't you just record a commercial with your face and then talk about it? Just play the video.
Shaking my head. We ain't ever gonna make it.
So Terrence just finished this match. So you want to do Terrence and Grimble up there? Better hurry up before they get in there. Yo, they run into the cabinets. Put the quarter in. Yeah, you gonna tell Arsenal to go and get off the seat.
Nah, he got that seat warm. He ain't moving nowhere. He already put his quarters in. And you mean to tell him he gotta give him? Nah, that's not how this works, man.
He got his one credit flashing up there. Is someone else about to sit down?
But he won. That's not how. I'm sure if they were trying to play some VSAV, you would have gladly let some more people experience the game.
Sit down.
I need to make more ads.
All right, so we're gonna go to Terrence versus Grimble. Grimble, who we just saw, is Catalina, and Terrence, who also plays Catalina. So we're gonna have ourselves a mirror, in all likelihood.
Damn, I didn't realize Griminal played Catalina. I wouldn't have probably put this on. That's
Now,
a Catalina mirror.
Bias TO.
I know. What are you still doing here? Get out of here, man.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
So, Terrence, we haven't done an introduction to him yet, but probably don't need to if you're a regular to the Casa stream or just Georgia in general. The fundamentally sound player, if you will, always likes his mid-range controlling female characters. Chun-Li is what he's most known for. Plays some mean Charlotte and Sam Show, Catalina, and Granblue. You get the theme that he goes with, and doing pretty good so far. More of an aggressive approach than Gremlin was showing in the last game, but seeing as this is a mirror match, we're going to have to see how both of them can work against each other. Work against both of the strengths and with the weaknesses, you know, however many that Catalina can possibly have. I don't really think she has any. But especially if you're able to hit your confirms, making sure you get your supers. You know, I say this kind of jokingly and going with the flow of the match, but I want to say that's the first time we've seen Catalina super.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling that with the way that first round went, that'll be one of the big telling things throughout the entire set. I just have the assumption that Terrence is going to be more sound on his confirms. He's going to make sure to get the most out of any hit he gets. So it's going to be kind of hard for Gremlin. All right, I don't even need to say it. It's there on the screen for you.
Yeah, I mean, like you said it and it played out. So Griminal was just he was kind of getting some hits here and there, but really he wasn't able to get anything substantial.
And I was talking about Terrence being more aggressive. Like, he starts out with the light lunge, trying to see if he can find the spacing to get the plus range from it. Didn't really find it, but since he didn't get deterred, he's still trying to charge forth. Like, that's one of the things I say about Terrence in, like, all of the games he plays. Like, he's really good at walking forward, and it feels, or it seems like it's really hard for anybody who plays against him to walk forward. Like, even though this is a different game, I kind of feel like this is the same thing that I could say about him anytime I see him playing.
Yeah. He generally knows where to put those buttons when against his opponent, and he knows when to ramp up his aggression, hit his defense. Like, he's not afraid to play any aspect of the game.
So it's one thing that he walks up, or it's one thing that he hits the super through the fireball, right? But for what I was talking about, the thing that really set that up was the fact that he got Griminal to stop pressing buttons long enough for him to dash into range. Like, he took the little step, and it meant so much. But in the second round, yo, he's just mauling him over in the corner. He doesn't even need a super. Has it? Think this is the third round he's finished with a super? Third or fourth, I believe?
Yeah. He literally got it mid-combo. So, like, we were talking about awareness earlier. He literally saw that super tick and he's like, oh, I got it now. So
Yes.
definitely a stark difference.
That's the other end of the spectrum where it's like, if you've gone late into a round, you've taken a lot of hits, you just have to know that you have a super. If you're just like walking over somebody, even though you're winning in this game, you probably will have your super because the person who is hitting will get their super first.
Yeah, you gain a lot of meter from just moving forward, from hitting your opponent. So that, like you said, the winner is definitely sitting on meter. Much quicker generally.
We're gonna have to see if Terrence can win because this is the first time he's been down. Criminal gets his A confirmed and he finally gets his super, the break that he's needed after he's been rolled for 4 rounds straight.
Maybe Terrence inspired him.
Possibly. And that in the air. Yo, the whiff punish.
Yep, using that far heavy to ensure that he gets the follow up. Ooh. Yeah, not too bad for Terrence, but he did get put in the corner.
So not too bad. Lost his position. That's kind of bad.
Well, I meant like the initial punish.
Yeah. Oh, yo, he shut him down.
That was it. I think he probably could have taken that one to the end. He had all of his meter.
So
had all of his moves available and everything.
I think he was looking for the easy super, and he just didn't have the coordination between his hands, which is why he got the U.
Fair enough. And I don't even think auto combo super would have beaten him there. He would have had to actually do an actual combo.
Look, man. We'll take anything at this point. Do you see what Terrence is doing on the other side? Grimmel's got to get any damage he can get. 2C again. Didn't get the counter hit confirmed, but still holding on strong, holding down the block. 2B leads Terrence to his 3rd game, and he's only dropped 1 round so far.
Mm-hmm.
This one looking kind of rough. Yo!
Just the mark of Terrence when he knows you. He'll do the thing that you just aren't expecting. And yeah, and so unlike Arsenal, and part of that is kind of on Charlotta, Terrence knows where he can put a button on the lunge. Because it's actually, despite what people say, it's actually not very easy to make that save.
Right. So it's one thing that is not like the easiest thing to get neutral plus anywhere in there, but on the other end of the spectrum, Criminal hasn't been like checking it too heavily, right? He's been throwing a lot of like B's behind it, so that's something that still gives Terrence the wiggle room to try it. This is a different game. I say it's a different game, but Terrence finds the space again in the setup that we saw a little bit earlier. The space on the lunge and looking for the whiff punish for the H, but he still needs more because Grimmo still has control. Steps in and gets a throw. I wasn't ready for the counter hit though.
The Criminal has an interesting approach to taking his auto combo, so either stopping or going into the shield and then playing with his opponent. So he mixes up the expectations there quite a bit.
He found the backside though, gets his confirm, and he gets around. All right. Keeping hope alive. Making us go to round 3.
And that interaction has happened multiple times where Terrence actually does put his lunge in the safe spot, and Criminal always responds with a far medium, and Terrence always whiff punishes it.
I want to say this happened 3 times so far, but as many times as it happened, it hasn't really done a whole lot for Terrence because Criminal has the lead. He just needs to find his way out of this corner.
He's just about to lose the lead. They're around evenish right now.
Yeah.
And there it goes.
He hits for the knockdown. Oh, yo, but he gets the punish on the... He didn't go in the super again, man. This time? No!
Yeah, I think it's what you said. He tried to go for the easy input and messed it up.
But how? How, coach? It's just a quarter circle, man.
That quarter circle's gonna haunt him in his dreams.
Oh, man. He's still holding on strong. Oh, yo.
Too much forward momentum. Wasn't ready. Both of them just look like they just wanted to calm down, take a small break. Like, okay, hold up. All right, we good.
Terrence does his good. He just got away with murder, man. He whiffed. That's the biggest whiff I've ever seen Terrence throw. And he got away. It wasn't even a light punish. He got away scot-free.
Mm-hmm. He just ran on out of there. All right.
He's running in around game 5. 2 scoops over in the corner. Didn't think that there was going to be a counter hit there. I expected him to block.
All right, and that should be it. All right, so set point for Terrence.
Oh, man. That's got to be so disheartening for Granblue. Trying to roll in for a start, got cleaned up with a lunge, finds himself back in jail in the corner, just constantly getting counter hit. It's the counter hit crisis.
Oh no,
it ain't going away. And, yo, he still came up pressing buttons.
Yeah, Grimino, he's willing to block, but usually in these neutral situations. But when he's off his back, he wants to do something. And Terrence kind of keyed in on it and beat him up for it. So that's a 5-0.
Oh man.
So we got the PSN cat winning.
You think Terrence is sitting home in a striped polo right now?
I don't know. He did lose to Ed 5-0, so maybe he got his one of his shirts on.
Ooh.
So we should have Bates and are they still at it?
There's no way, dude.
It looks like they're still at it.
Do they have a tight battle over there?
Who's hunkering down with Zeta? You go in or go home.
So that means he's playing against Leo over there, right?
Yeah, that's who he's playing at first when we started this match.
What the? What the?
They must be going back and forth as well because it is a first to 5.
Yeah.
So they have to be around on the last game at some point. But yeah, go ahead and do your Matcherino thing if you're watching and tuning in. And thanks for tuning in, by the way.
Thank you.
Trying to kick off the Casa de Granblue and Casa de Sam Show online series.
It's Casa de Test. That's what it's called.
Hey, he changed the stream name, man.
Oh, I'm proud of him. He just might make it.
He might make it.
He ain't ever gonna make it.
So once we get Bates and Arsenal on the stream, and then we'll switching to Sam Show. But good stuff from everyone who's competed so far. Thank you for joining the tournament.
Giving us something to do in these, I can't literally say stressful, but these very different times.
Yeah.
World's been flipped upside down. Everybody's just in their fallout shelters, waiting for Rona to pass over.
Yeah, for some of us, it's better than others. So I'm thankful that it hasn't impacted me too hard, but I know some people who have having some rough times. So
yeah. But in the meantime, we got some games to keep our sanity. Well, some of us have games. Some of us are just sitting around in an avatar lobby waiting for something to happen.
Wait for the match of the century to end, apparently.
This is the match that never ends, for it goes on and on. Pretty much, dude. Maybe they thought it was a 1st to 10 or something.
What's the score over there, man?
I'm about to find out.
Hold on and walk over there.
Kicking the door. Bates, what's happening?
Oh, I thought it was the 1st to 20.
I don't know. He's too tough. I can't handle him, man. It sounds like it's not going good for Bates.
Shit was 5-4.
Yeah. Hype battle.
Bates 154. Yeah, no one has been reporting their matches outside of Terrence, so you might want to get on that. They might not even remember their scores.
Uh-oh.
I told them.
Ah.
I have no other power other than to tell them to
Scores.
Well, Leo just put a score in for
the boy-
Bates. He played on stream, so I don't know if he played his other 2 matches yet anyway. But yeah, we finally got Bates and Arsenal, so he is running Beelzebub versus Charlotta.
Believe in victory. Battle 1. Engage.
Bates going for that dive, trying to keep him. Oh, okay. I like I like that run under the demon flip there.
Yo, this is a lot of aggression out of Bates. Like, yo, my man is saying the floor is lava.
And Beelzebub being one of the characters that just came out, so Arsenal might not have much experience with him yet.
Yo,
And
Bates,
Bates
Bates is literally over here just doing the move, man. Gets the DP shield, couple of fireballs to keep him in check. Yo, he diving again. And he wanted to dive. I think he maybe just wanted to J out of the corner. I was thinking he wanted to dive at him, and he got crossed under. But yeah, well, since he did it 4 times at this point, I'm assuming he just wants to hold down the block, hold his space, going from coast to coast. He's needing you to get out.
I think yeah, he's kind of doing that as a feint. Like, you know, I'm gonna do something in the air. You don't know if I'm gonna dive at you or I'm just gonna jump back.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's gonna commit to A at that point, he can't do anything else. So
Yeah, that's true.
oh, but he gets the block. Steps in, doesn't get the punish. So caught him trying to hold up. Ooh. One of the benefits of Beelzebub, like, and Bates set that up so well. So he threw the feathers out quite a few times. He threw them like 2 or 3 times throughout the first round, right? But he never charged them. So in a clutch situation where Arsenal sees him, thinks he knows that they're going to be another uncharged one, Bates just held on for dear life and was able to pick Arsenal off to get the first round. Yeah, wild first round.
Okay, nice DP on the dive. Bates
And
responds one of his own.
It was a skill button DP as well because Arsenal was running forward, so that's something to keep in mind. Like if he finds one that way, he has to make sure to keep control of Bates long enough to where he gets his ladder back. Because if he doesn't, it's not going to mean too much.
That's true. And I guess definitely for characters like Charlotta with charge motions, that skill button means a lot more.
Bates defending to get some space.
Flinging out that heavy, looking for something.
Yo! Let me borrow some frames real quick and go to the top side. Dive into UO. I say it's universal, but I guess I could call it the Bates overhead at this point because he's already thrown more than everybody else combined in 2 rounds. He's got to.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really had any specific answers towards it quite yet, so he's just having a good time. Okay, gets the buffer off the standing heavy there.
Yeah, I said, did you see that 5C, bro? It's pretty good.
It is. I think Bates batting 100 on that on that DP.
He's missed 1 or 2, but the thing I was gonna say is the fact that he's thrown it so many times, and Arsenal has run into it a good amount. So keep going.
I was just like using that jump unique to just kind of like stifle his approach. I like that.
But a counter, jumping out, and guess who's here?
Yeah, that goes straight up in there. You ain't getting over it. But in this game, raw super doesn't mean too much generally, depending on how much of a lead you have.
Does he know how to answer?
And he wasn't sure what that was gonna, because he can hold that for a good while. So I guess he wasn't sure where it was gonna be. Or maybe he just didn't know what was happening.
And through that, Arsenal was able to break through the DP with his ladder, with a DP of his own, got the sweep, and he was able to pull that round back because that was looking pretty grim for him at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, guess who's here? Delayed DP. We got all the flavors.
All right, now he's locked out a dive in cape. So yeah, using that air special for Beelzebub locks him out. Or when he uses EX, locks him out on both his ground move too. So, which is his confirmed tool. But
Yeah,
now
but
it's back.
It doesn't stop him from doing JA though. Fade away A.
It doesn't. I guess he's just looking for Charlotte to like chase after him and have something there. But in any case,
He was waiting, but he didn't wait long enough. As Arsenal finally pumped the brakes, got a block on a DP, empty jump low. Good look by Bates to see it, but he still isn't out of dodge just yet. Put him down with the JB, got some space. And I get the idea, or I get the impression that Arsenal was really looking for the teleport right there, but there wasn't a whole lot for him to really do. Like, he has to walk forward at some point, and when he goes forward, Bates is teleporting out of the corner.
oh, nice anti-air from Arsenal, but his conversion was misguided.
Doesn't have the spacing on the counter. Like, he actually got the counter to activate and everything, but because of how far Beelzebub was, it wasn't in the activation box. Didn't get the animation for it. Bates out here being a nutcase. Let me be real.
And yeah, while like Beelzebub is obviously not a plus from that, Charlotta has a short range generally, and the pushback generally favors him. So like he can't really press the issue, but if he sees you swinging, he can take advantage of that.
Counter hit JB, and Arsenal slowly walking up. He only needs one more hit to do this. All right, he needs 2 hits. He's got his. Oh!
Well, he got what he wanted, but he didn't take it to the. Oh, a nice cornerback.
Yeah, now Bates trying to be rabid, keep him in check, lets Arsenal out, finds another fadeaway JB, doesn't get the counter hit on the overhead just yet, so he's going to need another clean hit. Looking for it again, gets a couple of nickels and dimes, takes the lead, this isn't going to do it for him. Well, good block, he needed that block right there. But he still isn't able to get anything started, runs into whatever we're calling that. I haven't named specials yet. He swept them.
I usually call it the cape or the cloak, but the actual name for it is I actually forget.
He cloaked his ankles. We're done.
Chaos Cavalry.
Oh, we got. I'm using that. That's too good. Or at least chaos.
But
Speaking of the chaos, Arsenal creating his own chaos, taking the flip side. Got a couple of hits, but nothing really meaningful. Jeez. So he turned his GPS on and just dove it right into the airport.
Yeah, you can turn the chaos on Bates, but Bates he's generally unflappable. If he wants to do something, he's gonna do it despite the history of what's happened before.
He's a checkers player. I mean, that's a very accurate thing for me to say because he's doing a lot of jumping. If Cape couldn't find anything, gets his blocking time though. Does he have a punish? Because he's missed it. Goes with a super. Ooh!
That super is pretty slow, so he should have went to the other one and it probably would have worked.
He should have just walked up and jabbed him and took the round. Arsenal will gladly run away with it though. Man, Arsenal's just out like a thief in the night.
Yeah. Those plus flames. Arsenal, it's like he just gets those moments where he's just had enough. He just wants space to sit down for a minute.
Yeah. And I mean, he's going to have to keep flailing at him because if Bates wants to, he can just sit there and play a solid neutral against him, case in point. But he also just has the option to run around like a loon. So this is probably just a nightmare in Arsenal's mind. It has to deal with the teleports.
Yeah, using those charged fireballs will actually let him get in at a reasonable advantage. But he catches him doing EX something.
Gets the DP as well. Easy confirming a super.
All right.
Arsenal.
Finally on the board.
Oh, man, but he had to scrape and claw so hard for that one. Bruh. Trying to tie Bates down to the chair.
He goes ahead and just dumps 2 EXs in a row. He ain't scared. He does the third one.
Yo.
You see the fourth one? That was awfully bold. I don't know if it was just like a power play versus Bates, or he was just mad.
I don't know, but we finally got it a little later with the slashes. Trying to bait from a tick, nothing there. Oh, and And I feel like that's the first 2C Bates has hit. Like, he hasn't had to look at anti-airing too much, but like, that was a really big one to get him out of the corner at this point. And he's on the loose again. Can't take too many of these.
Yeah, Bates just flying the pressure on there. And yeah, so even if you blocked that, it would have been trouble because that last set of black flies put him in chip range.
Right. He really meant to anti-air that. Or he might have just been like pressing a button because he saw Bates like step forward or something, but he really pressed 5C looking at that die. That's interesting. Just my house, my space, swap with a 5A.
Yeah, I like how Bates is just generally trying to check Charlotta's explosive movement with the back jump, because even if she does demon flip, the roll, any of it, he can generally see what's happening below him.
Get some space with another shield, another DP. And he's... Oh, there it is again.
That's it. That should be it. Oh, yeah, because this super does a lot of damage.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it was a pretty beefy starter. Counter hit 2C. Didn't go really far down into the combo as well. That's all she wrote. 3-1 for Bates.
Getting that 2C into the Karma Orb and finishing it out.
Believe in victory.
Yo, those are some edgelord move names, dog.
Yeah. Pretty much. Okay, finally gets the conversion off because he's hit that jump unique a lot, but he hasn't really gotten the conversion. Like usually he'll get the light or the jab, whatever you want to call it in.
Right.
But that's the first time he took it to completion.
Like he got the space. I don't know if he really wanted to put himself in the corner, but it's one of those scenarios where I get the impression that as long as Charlotta is not in his face, Bates doesn't really care too much of where he is. Like, because he always has an out. He always has a couple outs. This isn't one of them, as he's getting mowed down. Did he block? Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Like, he's shown that he knows to dodge it, right? But by blocking, there's nothing he can do about it. But either way, there was still far too much for Bates to have to try to recoup at the end. Wasn't ready for the ladder to come out. Gets stepped on. Gets stepped over, if you will. That's Arsenal getting another round. Haven't seen one of those in a while out of him.
Yeah, using that teleport for positioning as well as the aggression. So like he's been making a lot of the uses, out of the various uses that it has.
Let's be real. He's just being obnoxious at this point. You know, I haven't pointed this out yet, but now I understand how we saw Bates playing against Leo before the last match and how they were playing afterwards. Like, think of how much time it takes just to catch this character, dude. Yo.
And Zeta herself moves around a bit as well, so when the situation's on the other foot, I imagine it's much the same.
I felt so sad for Arsenal because he was sitting there waiting in the corner or waiting mid-screen, and he found the 5C, but because he hit it grounded, he didn't get the confirm that he wanted. But this round's looking a lot different for him, especially since he got the start. Wasn't ready for the big U for the top row. Was ready for the overhead though.
Yeah, Arsenal telling him to calm down. And Arsenal is starting to look more for the DPs and is making him Bates whip more and more. And he's taking advantage of it here and there. So like you can just kind of see him smoothing out his process. Hopefully it's not too little too late.
Yeah, this round's looking really... No, he's okay. But then he dodged.
Yeah, if he had dodged, probably would have got a much better punish. But in any case, yeah, Bates keeps going to that super. And yeah, due to the slowness, like you can even sometimes like whip something and still be able to block, depending on what it is. All right, there he goes. He's seeing that a lot more. It's just weak punish. It could have been that. Button in the super, and that would have been it.
Gets around the ladder, slaps him in the back. Man, that's so unfortunate for Arsenal, but it's again fortune that smiles in Bates' favor, and he will gladly take it. Has no problem with punishing with DPs. Have to see if he can do it again and get 5-1 on Arsenal. This is a match game for Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a safe jump. I don't know if that was like a literal safe jump or the fact that he was just showing some movement. But he just really gave Bates a stimulus to react off of. That one wasn't as good, but he did find a little counter hit before he got pushed off. So he's getting to test Bates' reactions, playing with his expectations. Just isn't getting the most of it just yet. Nice. That was better.
Yeah, he's seeing a lot of stuff. It's just can he capitalize often enough? Because like, despite the score, the last couple of games have definitely gone better for Arsenal, just as far as the game flow going.
So can we take a second and just realize that the reason why that went so bad for Arsenal was because of the spacing? Like he had the hit, and he goes into EX slashes, but because of the distance, it pushed Bates out of the combo, if I remember correctly. It's just literally a series of unfortunate events. Yeah, I don't know what you're reaching for there, man.
I don't know if Bates knows either. Bates decides to jump there when he's been. I feel like he's been pretty accurate in stopping that with DP.
Yeah, he could have possibly thought that he had time to jump, but he thought wrong. He gives Arsenal a chance to get a break and try to get his second game. Arsenal with good control. Of staggers, big stagger. Anti-jump, low. But he was missing both the cooldowns that he really wanted there, which is why he gave up the momentum. And he ain't missing that one though. Has the ladder on lock, ready to roll. Ooh, nice.
So he backdashed into the command grab super. Oh man, basic full of surprises.
That's actually a really unfortunate thing that having a really obnoxious thing that I haven't pointed out, even though I've seen it a few times. The fact that Charlotta doesn't jump high enough to jump over the projectile. Like she just doesn't clear the wall.
Yeah, she can't. She has to. I'm trying to remember because I have a list of some characters that can't jump over it. I have it somewhere on here. But yeah, some characters actually have a really hard time jumping over without like a deliberate super jump.
Huh.
Believe in victory. Battle 1.
Well, even then, Arsenal was able to make it work, keeps himself alive 2 games to 4. But yeah, that's something that like I saw it and I acknowledged it, but I didn't process what that actually meant. I was just like, well, he just needs the super jump. It was like, wait, I think he's trying.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling the EX roll, expecting Bates to actually hold down back like a good American citizen, but nah, ain't up back for days. I get what Bates is doing. So Blanca ball logic, if you will, where when Charlotta does her roll, if she does the right roll, it has a really quick recovery, like Arsenal just does right there. So Bates is expecting him to be at the edge of it, and is either gonna throw Arsenal out of the response or is looking to tech a throw, and he's just off in his spacing time and time again. Like that is a thing she does. It's kind of weird to think about it if it's not actively happening, you know?
Yeah.
Nah, if at first it don't succeed, nah, bro, it don't succeed. Ooh, finds his way back in, into the Sabah.
Yeah, not close enough for the animation. Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, that is air blockable the whole way through. He doesn't even get deep on 9EX. So the score is now 4-3.
Yo, we don't call it a comeback?
Believe in victory. Battle 1. Engage.
What
Got
cooldown?
Arsenal doing something.
Yeah, I was trying to see what cooldown he used.
So it looks like it was his slashes.
Roll.
Roll. Okay.
Yeah. Slashes is the left one. That's something that a lot of people have talked about. It's like, wish it was easier to see what cooldown went to what, just looking at the icons.
So I guess when someone comes off their back with something, you always know that's actually an interesting concept. But regardless, Arsenal's taking control. Like I guess he's seen something in those like I said, like he had been picking up on a lot of stuff Bates was doing. But he's just now really pushing the issue and taking advantage of it, and it's working out in his favor.
Speaking of picking him up, picked up that he had an avenue super there, was looking for a DP, nothing there, and that's the green light for him to go in again. And in the beginning, I was saying that it was a long time between Arsenal rounds, but now it's like you were saying, it's the Arsenal show, man. Like he's in there.
It's like he's trying to bring it to a 4-4.
Rolled his way in, and I think he went for an empty jump low at that point because he got counter hit standing. Yeah, the base getting his space, throwing a couple projectiles out there. All the respect.
Well,
all the respect in the world.
Yeah. He's ran into enough DPs to know.
That is fair. And at the same time, Arsenal did have super at that point, so it is fair to say that Base was trying to coax him into the super, was looking for the bait, but he's going to find a little bit later Excalibur. Not enough to take the round just yet, but looks so good for Arsenal since he has him down on the corner.
Yo, the one time Bates was gonna hunker down, he was waiting, so we're all tied up 4-4 now.
And Arsenal was down 1-4 in this run.
He managed to do 3 games straight. So see if he could take it home.
Arsenal getting a couple of chips.
Yeah, Basis now is gonna have to be the one to kind of adjust to Arsenal and knowing where the plus frames are and stuff like that. Like it's the burden has been switched on as far as the players are concerned.
Yeah, finds a counter hit. Doesn't really get anything from it, but still looking so good for Arsenal. And it's been such a long time since he's seen the DP. He kind of ran into the stop sign. But he's not deterred. He's still in there.
Tried to inch his way in there and got hit by a low.
But the thing that was really good for Arsenal, like even though he got hit with the sweep, since Bates put the cloak behind it, he couldn't really get set up for it. But either way, Bates was able to find his way out of the corner and able to chip and wear away at Arsenal. Finally get the first round we've seen in quite a while, but still one round closer to finishing out this set.
Okay, he did get the crouch confirmed, because that only works on crouches. And yeah, Bates is starting to look a little better here. But
You were saying?
Well, hey.
Ooh,
He did
okay.
block it out, right?
Yeah. Got his big 2C, but wasn't ready for the DP. Yo, that's how we're gonna do it. We're just gonna like hopscotch our way over to the corner with a couple of back throws. I like it.
Okay, let's see if Arsenal did anything, and he did, and that's it. Went with a far C as far as I can see.
Yeah. All the times that Arsenal has been ready for the super, the one time the pump the brakes got caught with his hands in the air, got held up by Bates. 5-4.
So pretty close set. A lot of adjustments from the players, but in the end, Bates takes it home. So that would be it for Granblue. But good stuff from our players. I don't know. I posted the challenge in there. I don't know if all the scores have been updated yet.
Well, since most of our players are in Sam's show as well, and they're not done yet, they gotta keep playing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put EdGoneBad versus Bates.
So I guess we got one more match for you at the very least.
And then we'll be done.
Bonus. That dude really walked off and forgot to turn his mic off.
He did.
Yeah, I hear the bird back there getting hyped too. We ain't ever gonna make it. I think I hear the dog. I hear the entire zoo.
Yeah, man, this microphone is insane.
You got a mute button while you're here, though. While we're waiting, why don't you go ahead and throw your ads out there?
Yeah, let me
do your plugs.
You know, I wanted to plug the junk food guy, but he still hasn't responded. So we are just going to plug the Matcherino. Make sure to all right. Yeah, so I guess what happened was that since the audio got fucked up, oh wait, are they starting? Never mind, they're starting anyway. So fuck.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a work in progress, ladies and gentlemen. But we got our boy EdGoneBad, who's been showing to be the strongest person in this tournament as far as the scores go. So now he's just kind of bullying Bates here.
Yeah, bullying is a pretty good word to put it, because where we saw Bates come out in the beginning of his last set, literally just flying in the sky, doesn't want anything to do with the ground. This time, I think he might have left twice. He hasn't been able to move very far until now. But even then, he wasn't really able to go too far as he find himself running into a 2B all the way down into the EX shot. And that was the first round, easily going to Ed. And like you said, yeah, Ed, he's been looking pretty good, man. He's been looking really good.
All right. Yeah, he's probably been the most consistent anti-air today.
But Bates puts up a pretty good challenge with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting a 2C early. Didn't really get anything from it because it wasn't a counter. Yeah, Bates. If I say Ed's number one, then let's be real, Ed is literally shooting fish in a barrel with anti-airs. Bates, he'd probably be number two. Have to see if he can find one or find any way out of this corner. It ain't looking good for him. EX for the knockdown again, blocked the overhead. Yo, does he have this? It does.
Yeah, it didn't get the animation though, so limited damage.
He gets the space. That's the thing that he really needs. The space sadly wasn't enough to stop the arrow rain from coming as Ed adds another game to his win column. Has he lost, like?
I don't know if he's lost anything. I'd have to look at the challenge or the match report.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't think he's lost a master game today.
Trying to see if we can keep the streak alive. For the first time, Ed finds himself in a Ooh!
Good call out on the dive, and I think that's kind of one of the Terra's anti-airs, that he can't really fake her out with the dive because her button's gonna reach regardless of what you do.
Right, but the thing that looked so good about that, it was one thing that was really clean, but it was the fact that Bates has been rolling a lot, right? And he actually got through the first low shot right before that with a roll. So it was like really prevalent on both of their minds. But even with that, Ed was able to, or just had the awareness to still look for the dive and close out that round. It was really good. Don't need to fluff it. It was really good. Overhead, doesn't get the butterfly, eventually picks it up. Double butterflies. 2 butterflies.
Yeah, I like how he's just kind of like stalls it out. Like he puts the opponent in a moment of suspense. Like, is he gonna set this off now? Is he gonna set this off now? And then like he always manages to get that moment where they try to move, and then it sets it off. Like he kind of has like a good intuition of when people want to try to move or mash there.
Ooh, I don't know if that slide was clean or not, but it was to the point of where Bates couldn't really do anything about it. The roll's not looking really good for him either. Ground's already looking rough for Bates, but
Yeah, Base is trying to like start something with the dive and try to keep his opponent off bait, but it's always kind of like just in that spacing where when he dies, it's just never making contact or very rarely, except
Right.
as such.
He was also doing pretty good just hold down close range with the 5A that we've seen a couple times, just trying to take any confirm from it. Takes a assault. He's ready for this. Has the dodge for it.
Yeah, he was ready. He was super ready. Yeah, Base is I mean, like you said, you can't really say much else, and he's kind of desperate.
Battle 2. Engage.
He just wanted this to stop.
Yeah, that's real.
It didn't.
That looks really rough for him. And it looks really rough because like he just can't find the times to step forward. Like he can move forward, but the ways he's having to move forward is taking risks. Like he keeps having to take the rolls, take jumps. He doesn't seem like he can really find the time to just safely take steps and just encroach on Ed's space. And because of that, Ed just knows he has to take a guess on whatever option Bates is looking for, and he gets a huge cash out every time.
Mm-hmm. And so, like this early in the round with that much health, it's very likely that Ed can just build another super if things drag on. So it's still looking pretty good for him, no matter which way we go.
Just fixes his error, gets right back out of the corner.
But Ed actually put a button on it, so he was looking to punish it. He was just slightly off, so he did see it, and he is aware that he could put something on there. So Base has to keep that in mind.
Woo! That's a big one. Overhead, not enough to take it just yet. Don't know what the 2C was about.
I wonder if he meant to stand up and see, and he just didn't. Yeah, those are not working out for Bates. I don't think Ed is gonna sit around and swing into that.
Battle 1. Engage.
Nah, not with the way he's been playing mid-range. Like, he's been walking back so much, especially when he has a lead. Case in point, it's gonna be really hard to find him pressing into it. Like, I get the impression that the only time that it would really happen is if Bates was winning and Ed had to.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's too late to ignite it. But Bates was ready to block anyway.
Defense doesn't win the game by itself, so, yeah. Oh, nice. Shut him down. Gets a hard knockdown. Let's see what he does with it.
Goes for the overhead. Now we got a corner switch. Oh, man. He was ready for action, but Base came in behind him. He wasn't ready.
Taking the EX dive. Like, I wonder if he meant to take the EX dive or if he just somehow missed his dash command. Because there was 2 cooldowns already gone from Ed. And Isma Terror, it's not like she has the greatest ways off of her back to begin with. So that was a huge opportunity to just let him up for free. But Base is still looking pretty good. Late tech from Ed. Couldn't get all the way in there. And the EX knockdown, he'll gladly take that and get the space that he needs.
Oh, beautiful slide.
Woo!
Yeah, he went for the command grab. First of all, that command grab has very minimal range. And second, he was in the air anyway.
Yeah. But even then, he did it. He somehow did it. This is the first round we've seen out of Bates. Congrats, you made it. Need a second one though.
See if we can get the game. I'm going more to that stagger pressure, but Ed seems to have a healthy knowledge of the decision making he can make there. And so he decides to put a button on the stagger.
Even if he doesn't, like, one of the things that's really cool about Materia, useful in my mind, is the fact that a lot of her buttons, more notably her fast buttons, combo into her EXs. And so a lot of times when she's looking to break through pressure, she can just look for like 2A EX low shot. If it hits, cool. If not, she has a little bit of space. So it's not so easy to just run at her once she finally gets to her feet. But like if you're making her take guesses like that, if you're like waiting for her supers, yeah, it ain't looking too good for her.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen something like that out of Ed, actually.
And Bates is ready for it. He could actually get this game. Just needs a little bit more. Yo, from downtown, but he didn't get... Ah!
Yeah, Base saw victory and he was going for it. He got a little blindsided there.
Yeah,
That's
but-
actually another benefit of those charged black flies is that the durability of the projectile increases. So I imagine there's probably a little more use for this versus Matera than he probably gets credit for.
Ooh, he's looking for the 2C. Like he's seen enough of the unique jumps that he was ready for. Just didn't have the timing. Think he looked for it again. Just clip with a counter hit one more time. That one was clean. We're going from coast to coast? Question mark.
I wonder if he meant to convert that and he just mistimed it or misspaced it.
Yeah, it's one of the most unfortunate things that can happen. Ed's over there locked in jail. Doesn't get the hit on his EX shot, so that's gone for a second. Yo, Bates is gnawing at them ankles.
Okay. Faces overhead finally gets him in trouble. So generally he's been not really been called out on that.
Right. But the one time he needed it the most, Hig got lit and burned asunder. Hey, bruh. And here we are. Game 5. Ed trying to take another sweep, although it's getting harder. Game go. Each round go. Yo, Big U to shut him down. Yeah, Ed's just still looking really good. He was looking really good.
He still. Well, I was gonna say he still has a life lead, but not anymore. Now he's in the corner and he's down. He's going even further.
Oh, he's really trying to make Bates whiff on the third light, because that's 2 times really consistently that he's blocked two A's and he's still up on the third one. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in a clutch situation, if he believes Bates is still looking for it, he'll take that away from him. Shut down the flies, caught the roll as well. This is a shooting gallery, but Bates finds his way out.
Yep, makes it through the projectile, and that should be it. Right up around. We'll see if he can take it to his first game.
I feel like we said this last game. I don't think we had those results, man.
Well, it's a new game.
I still think this is Granblue. Plus frames from the debt. Nothing really doing as Bates finds his space. I want to believe he missed the dive input. I'm still rolling with it.
He finally pressed into it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Ed was just flustered at that point, because he knew that Bates was going in the air for the dive to start things off. Met him in the air, but just didn't have the spacing right for it. So he might have been scrambling just to collect his thoughts.
All right, Bates uses that teleport to get back to mid-screen.
And he ain't trying to anti-air it anymore. Let him have an assault for free. And that was the path that Ed was willingly going to take to put himself on match point. I was going to say again, but it's not again. On match point, period. Caught the counter hit, the end of the roll. A little too late on the butterfly. Nah, that's my space. That's my space. Where you going?
Just gotta send a message.
Mine, all mine. 2Cs. The air is mine. Everything is mine. This corner is mine. Just give me a second. We'll make it work. Oh, or will we? Plot twist.
Great, managed to get that anti-air out. Using the super skybound.
But he needs one more. That's the thing.
But he still got good positioning after the super.
Yo, oh.
And so Bates finally puts one on the board.
And it was looking scary for a second because Bates ran in there and he hit his 2As. And he hit the third one and it didn't hit. So I was thinking that was a scramble that Ed needed. But maybe this game, maybe in game 6. Yeah, Bates is still alive, man. He made it.
Still got some spirit in him. First to draw blood from Ed.
Yeah, this one ain't looking so good though, but Ed's kind of mad about that. He's going forward, he's setting off the line, doesn't even finish the combo, but it doesn't matter too. Yeah, the damage is done at that point. Nothing for Bates to really do.
Battle 2. Engage.
And yeah, like unlike the last match where Bates up against Criminal, he hadn't been so keen on using his Arsenal. He hasn't been so keen on using his reversal.
Yeah, that was just on my mind too as he threw it out earlier. Like, the only way Bates has really been trying to fight off of his back is with the Super Skybound. Now he's throwing the DPs in there, which just been looking kind of good, but again, it's going to take more than a couple DPs here and there to really get the round, because he's got to make something happen. Late tech from Ed. See that? Oh, no.
That's
He's on
a
his
safe jump. Yep.
Yeah. He didn't even mean for it to be safe. It was just, that thing is slow as molasses, bro.
Yep.
And with that, Ed gonna take another set. Not a clean one, 5-1. Just a little dent in him, but still 5 nonetheless. And now, we're gonna have to see if we get any more bonus games of Sam's show. Gonna kick it over to the Stream Meister himself. Painbot, where you at? Painbot, where you at? There we go.
We're probably gonna move to Sam show now because everyone that's left is just Granblue, so there's no issue here. We're gonna go ahead and close the stream for a second, and then reopen it back up for Samurai Showdown, and we'll see y'all in about maybe like 10-15 minutes, so I can get everything situated. But yeah, so I'll catch y'all. If you're just here for Granblue, appreciate y'all watching. If y'all are waiting for Sam show, give me 10 minutes.
All right, stick around.
10 minutes.